Hello everyone, my name is Suryansh Rai and this is my final project for the CSFT web course. As the capstone project, I have built a school management system based around the school in which I used to go to. I have tried to implement features that would help in the functioning of the school, and so let's dive straight into the project. This is the landing page of the project. Here you are greeted with a welcome message, a description of the school, and a few news and updates about what's going on the school. Then there are other sections such as admissions, aims and values, and some other sections which are over here. So let us check out the gallery of this website. It has a regular gallery and an archived gallery. The archived events are those which were conducted in the previous academic year. So let us check out this inter-house basketball event. And here are some images from the event. It seems like this school has a really good basketball player. Now let us explore some other section, such as the news section is also uh, similar to the gallery section. I will cover the concept of active and past academic years in the later section of this video. Uh, for now, let us check out some news and updates. Now let us see how the login and registration works. uh, you can register from a new user can register from here. You can register as a student or you can register as a staff. For now, let us register as a student. Now, for here, every student and employee is given a student ID from the school, and that student ID needs to be the username over here. So these supposed usernames needs to be these usernames need to be pre-registered here in the student application by writing them in the student IDs text file or the employee IDs, whatever the case is. So for the employees, all their usernames need to be written over here before they are allowed to register. This is to ensure that only the people who have the IDs or username who are associated with the school somehow are able to create their account in this application. So with that said, let us try to register this student here. So if we try to put in some random characters, this would display that this is an invalid ID. However, if we enter an valid ID, such as this, it does not display any message. Let us give them a random name. I have also implemented an email checker feature. So if I just uh, type a random email, it would give a message that this is an invalid ID. So for now, I will enter some ID that works. Right. So this is a valid ID and it works. I've also implemented a password checker feature. So in case it does not meet any criteria that has been implemented in the password checker, it would deliver a message. Once every thing in the form is filled correctly, the register button becomes enabled and you can register as a student. Now, once we register as a student, we are given with a few more features such as the student page and requesting a submission. Let us check out uh, what requesting a submission is. As we saw earlier, that there are some news articles and images in the gallery. I have implemented a feature such that any student of the school who takes a photograph or say have something to share in the news section, he or she can just directly put it in he or she can directly submit that from the school website. So that student can submit a news article. Let us write a random news article here. So I have filled this form with some values, and now let us submit this. Similarly, we can also upload images for any event that happens in the school. In case we are uploading an image for an event that is not yet here, so we can select the other event section. You can also give an optional title. From Now, the news and images submitted by a student are not directly displayed in the news and gallery section of the school website. It is just to implement some level of approval and some safety, because everything cannot be just directly displayed on the school website. It first needs an approval from any of the staff member. So let us log in as a staff member. Now, once you sign in as an employee and open the that same section of submissions, you are given with a few more options. You can, of course, you can also submit images and news articles, but you are also given the option to review news articles. So, this article was just submitted by this student that we created, and this is given in the order of submission. So submissions which were made first will appear first, and submissions which were appeared later would come in the later end. Now, after reviewing these, an employee can either approve or reject them. So let us approve this, and once we have approved it, it appears in the news section. Qatari house wins inter-house debate. And we are given the option of selecting various events before approving this image. Now, let me explain to you how events work. The gallery of this website is structured such that you are given with a various events, and then based on these events, you are given the images. I have organized it so that the images are easy to explore. So, say a student wants to watch images of the dance party that was recently conducted, so they can just go and see that. And that is how the events work. Now, only an employee can create a new event. So now let us see how the student page looks like for a user who is signed in as a student. Now, this student has not yet registered to any classroom. This is how the page will be displayed in the beginning of any new academic session. Let us register him. So once the student is registered in a classroom, his page looks somewhat like this. There is a schedule section which is empty right now, few notices, and the recent results. So these results are from the past academic year. The results from previous academic years are not deleted, just to keep a record. So here are a few results. The schedule right now is empty, and there are only two new notices. Now a student can add something to his schedule from here. Let us say we are adding to finish the maths homework by this weekend, which are yet due. So anything after today's date will not be displayed here in this schedule. For example, if I add a false schedule, say foo, with a date in which has now passed, it will not appear here. A student can also look at his gallery contributions, the images that he has given to the gallery of this school, and his news articles. So these are the news articles submitted by this student. Now let us see how the student page looks like for any teacher who is signed in. So right now this teacher with employee ID, this is signed in here. A teacher gets a few more options than a student. A teacher can join multiple classrooms. So let us do this, right? So this teacher can right now join some other class, say 12B, and once he is since the teacher attends a lot of classes, he or she can join multiple classrooms, and then they now teacher also gets a few more features. They can create a notice for a classroom, they can release course or add something to the class of the schedule. Let us try out each of these features. So I have filled the form with a random notice that states that reading activity will be conducted this week in the classroom. Let us publish this. See that the notice is here. It is. Now let us see what a release course does. Now a teacher can release the marks of a student one by one, or they can upload a CSV file. Let us try to upload the marks of each student of this classroom one by one. Let us say that there was a project on geography with max marks 10. It has been checked today itself. Let's give these students some values. So as you can see, once you enter the max marks here, uh, the form automatically checks that no student is has. I have filled the form. Let us submit it. Classroom of this. As you can see, the marks are now updated here. And CSV file. Now let us see how instead of entering the marks of each student, you can just upload a CSV file. So uh, give the title to this result. So let us say we are checking the geography project with max marks of 10 and a date of today. Now here is the CSV file that we are going to upload. This has ID and marks. These are the two columns that it has. One column contains the usernames and the other contains the marks that the user has scored. So we choose this file. Once we submit it, the scores are released. Now let us try to add something to the schedule of a class. So this is implemented just in case anything that is due for the entire class can be added by the teacher himself for the classroom. So say their English you. So let us say the teacher wants to give a deadline. So let us say the teacher wants class 11A to write an essay on global warming and then give them a schedule and then give them a due date for it. And he can do this by adding it to their schedule. And once it is done, it's added to the schedule of the entire classroom. Right. So I've added this twice by mistake, but yeah, that's how we can do it. Now let us see how the library app looks like. So once you go to the library application, it gives you a list of all the books that have been issued to you and a link to go back to the home page or the student page. The search bar here gives you the option to search for any book. So you can search by the name of a book, say Harry Potter, or you can search by the name of an author, say Friedrich Nietzsche. This will also tell you if the book is available in the library or not. The availability is dependent. Say all the books that are available in the library are issued, then these books will become unavailable. That's it for this for any user who is not the librarian. Now let us see how this application looks like for users who are for the user who is the librarian. This is how the page for the librarian looks like. A librarian can issue or return a book. He can clear the penalty. He can add a book to the library or add a lot of books via CSV file. The search bar here for the librarian also gives the same options of searching for a book by the name, say John, right? So this book, The Fault in Our Stars by John Green appears here. Uh, But here the librarian can also query for a username. So say if the librarian queries a username, say S1003, then the books issued to him are shown here. Let us try out each of these features. Let us say a student with student ID of S1003 comes here to issue a book, say Harry Potter, right? So what we do is we enter the book ID here. This is the book ID, and we enter it and we submit the form, right? So the book is issued. Uh, in case we enter the same credentials again, then the book will be returned with zero penalty. Now, let me explain to you the penalty system. For every student, for every book issued, there is a due date. And if you submit the book after the due date, then you will be penaltied for 2 rupees per day, right? So if there are any penalties for a student, so let us see how the penalties work. We can query a student, CS1003, and then any penalty that is accrued on that student is shown here. Now the librarian, once he gets paid the penalty, he can clear this penalty, and that is how this works. Now librarian can add a single book, say Pride and Prejudice, by the author name and the quantity. So these 5 books have been added. So let us so the author can also add books via CSV file, and you can use something like this. Uh, Let me show you the CSV file. This is how the CSV file looks like. It contains a column of book name, author name, and the quantity. Let us add this. All these books have been added to the library. Once you are signed in as the master user, you can go to the URL, start new academic session. I have not given the link in the menu bar here for security purposes, but the master user can go to this URL, and this is what starting a new academic session would do. It would deallocate the classroom of all the members, it would delete all the notices, and it would archive all the data from the gallery and the news sections. So this is just to emulate the start of a new session, which would begin uh, each year. So once this is done, all the students who were registered in a classroom, all the news and updates, everything has been refreshed. So as you can see, all the images of the gallery, all the events have been archived, and so this student, which we just registered in a class right now, his classroom has been deallocated from him. So that's the start new academic session feature, and that's it for this project. I hope you liked it.